So this lets you know you're dealing with a narcissist. Long story short. So yesterday at work, a student came in to lunch, and the cafeteria lady asked him, "Where have you been? Your class came on the first shift." And he said, "They got me in TOR. They say I was smoking in the bathroom." So she said, "Well, look, from now on, put you a small bottle of cologne in your pocket and bring it with you when you know you're going to smoke, so you can spray it all over you before you go to class so the teacher won't smell it." And I said, "Why would you tell him that?" And she said, "Oh, I'm just saying, we did that when we was coming up." And I said, "Not me." And she said, "Well, that's just the way we rolled when we were younger, when we was teenagers and we did stuff like that." And I said, "Okay, but don't tell him nothing like that." So the principal come in and she told him, "When you get your plate, go to my office." She leaves out. Then the teacher comes in and she said, "Have y'all seen?" She just asked his whereabouts. I said, "He just went to the principal's office." And then she said, "Man, I have a headache dealing with that child. He been giving me trouble since the beginning of the school year. And I'm not going to deal with no disrespect. I don't know what's going on at home. I just had a conference with his mom. I feel sorry for her because the lady was crying and everything. She can't do nothing with him. His dad can't do nothing with him. But what I'm not going to let him do is disrupt my class, disrespect me, and the other students who is here to learn." So I wrote him up, told him, "You got to get out of here." And he's just 16. She said he's even dating a 23-year-old. And I said, "Now, she could be handled for that. She could be put in jail for that, you know." And we talked about that for a minute. And then the cafeteria lady jumps in and said, "Yeah, well, I told him, take your little small bottle of cologne with you and spray it all over you before you go to class. That way they won't smell it on it." And I told her, "Why would you tell him that? Like, where's your brain?" We talking about a narcissist. They say the stupidest things that can incriminate them because they feel so entitled to do as they please. They give the wrong advice to people to do the same, let alone a child. You telling this to a student at school. Like, why would you tell him that? If anything, give him the best possible advice, which is come to school, do the right thing, go to class, and learn. And then she want to say, "I was trying to tell her that, but she didn't come up like us, girl, because we right along the same age. She probably was inside. She don't know nothing about that." And I'm like, see, that just goes to show that narcissists feel like the rules don't apply to them. And then they try to play on your intelligence like you don't know any better because they did things that you didn't do coming up.